Um, so one of the things that I would suggest doing is there's this thing called the Law of Reciprocity, which is essentially saying if I ask you enough, if whatever I ask you about,
Mm-hmm.
you're likely to ask me about, right? Oh, how are you? Oh, well, how are you? Oh, how are the kids? Oh, how are your kids? Oh, take any vacations lately? Hey, you take any vacations lately? Right?
Mm-hmm.
So when we're doing the forward sandwich and the open-ended forward and all that kind of stuff that they're talking about, do you know what I'm talking about, Heather?
Yeah.
Family, occupation, recreation, dreams, right? When we're talking about that stuff, you got to allow for them to ask you and be comfortable with a response that's clear and concise and that can continue to move the conversation along. So a conversation, um, I might say something to the effect of, so Michael, I know you're in sales, or I know, you're doing a lot of traveling for your work. How has COVID impacted your work? Right.
Yeah.
And then they'll spend a minute or two explaining, and more than likely they'll say, what are you up to nowadays, Michael? Right. Or you could say, yeah, I'm at home. We're spending a couple hours um, in my accountability group with our at our real estate office, on Zoom, and we're practicing our presentations, and like, you don't be afraid to tell them that you are refining your skills, right? That
Mm-hmm.
you are, what work looks like for you,
Right.
right? And inevitably they'll say, oh, real estate? I thought it was only your wife that was doing real estate, or something like that, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just, you just want to kind of sprinkle it in there, but don't be afraid to say, hey, I spend a lot of time, as speaking to home buyers and home sellers throughout the day, and I just heard of a guy getting 2.5% on it for an interest rate fixed.
Mm-hmm.
I I, gosh, I'm like, I want to call everyone I know and tell them they should refinance. Have you guys thought about refinancing? Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And they'll say, what are you talking about? You spend all day in front of the computer talking to people. Say, hey, we got some awesome opportunities out there. A third of homes are selling above list price. We've got record low interest rates. We've got record low inventory,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? Now is a fantastic time to sell a home. And because of the interest rates, it's also a great time to buy a home. You know, um, just out of curiosity, like, my hunch is that over the next 6 months, year, there might be some pretty great opportunities that come into the real estate market.
Mm-hmm.
Should I come across something like that? Are you somebody that I should update? Do you have any interest in learning more about those types of opportunities?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Right. So that way you're asking somewhat of an indirect question, right? It's um, if there's something that I think you might be interested in, I'd like to share it with you. But first, I want to know if you're interested in it, right? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
by the way, how are the kids? Oh, well, the last one's going off to college. Wow. So are you guys going to stay local? Or do you anticipate staying in the area? What do you think your plans are? Right. And they're like, Michael, quit trying to squeeze a sale out of me. Right. Say, oh, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question. Do you have any real estate goals that I should be aware of this year? Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Say, I know a lot of people are struggling in work right now. Like, what I'm talking to buyers and sellers all day long. If I was if I was speaking to an ideal client for you, how would I know? Right. I mean, it could be anything. That your person on the phone could be an attorney, or a salesman, or a woman who sells, lotions and potions and stuff. Like, it could be anybody. I
Yeah.
got a little smile, huh, Heather?
The lotions and potions.
Yeah. I heard that too.
Yeah. I mean, how can you help them? If if you're like uncontrollable in the amount that you're trying to pour into this person, they will feel really strange if they don't ask how they can help you.
Got it.
Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
It does. It does.
and come at it with the attitude of, hey, I'm just, you know, I just talked to my mortgage person today, and she's locking people in below 3%. I just had to ask, if you haven't refinanced in the last 2 months, you might want to. I have a guy across the street. He bought a month after I bought, and he's already refinanced once, and he's about to refinance again because the rates it keeps making sense.
Yeah.
Hey, Rose. So what my suggestion is ask those questions. Hey, have you thought about refinancing? Did you know that interest rates are as low as they are? Right? What is there anything that I can do right now to assist you? Oh, hey, Rose.
Hey,
Hey, what's up?
nothing much. Just joining the call.
Cool. There's one thing that I wanted to tell you
Mhm.
that I have not gotten uh, a chance to do after having seen your post today. Um, uh, Hang on, I wanna read something to you guys, and I think all of you could probably benefit from this.
Okay.
Hang on. Let me make sure I read it exactly right before you go spend a bunch of money on something.
Okay.
It's about your logo.
Mhm.
So the state of Georgia does not currently have this law in place, but about half of the states in the country do. And the state of Georgia tried it about 6 months ago and it failed. But I believe that it's something that they're going to try again. And if I was a betting man, they're probably going to get it at some point. And what it is a change to the way that teams and agents can brand themselves. So let me read this to you guys so you hear this real clearly. So it says, this is back in February. Greg is proposing a rule change relative to teams. In the event that you are not aware, here is the proposed rule. Not sure when it will go into effect, just want our associates be prepared, and many will have to change their team names. This as written did not pass, just so you know. But like I said, about half of the states in the country have a law just like this, and they might tweak the language a little bit, but I wouldn't be surprised if down the road Georgia has a policy like this. It says the word team or group must be included as part of the name for all teams. Real estate team or group names may not include the following words or phrases or variations thereof: associate, brokerage, broker, company, corporation, corp, incorporated, Inc., LLC, LLP, LP, real estate, or realty.
Mm.
So, for example, Rose Harrison Real Estate,
Yeah.
it's not legal, it's not problematic today. And I don't know if that's going to be one of the words that they choose to ban. And quite frankly, I don't know if it's going to ever pass, but if I was a betting man, I think it probably will pass at some point. So
What about for individuals? Because I know you said for teams and groups, but
it's not particularly clear. That's a good question. It's not particularly clear whether that is, the policy would be different for a solo agent versus multiple agents. But the reason why they're trying to pass this is because they think that it's confusing to the consumer on who's a broker and who's not, or who is part of a brokerage and who's a team at a brokerage. So if it was me, I would probably try to steer away from real estate.
okay.
But like I said, it's not problematic today. But I know, like, Andy is the Peters company, right? They've spent a bunch of money behind the scenes being ready to deploy a new name if need be.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So Michael, was that helpful?
Yeah, it is. And I think that we just need to have probably these example of questions like what you had shared so we can kind of start to pluck and pull from pull from those after we go through that first, couple of minutes on the phone there with them.
So do you want to role play?
Sure. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah.
Okay, so just to catch you up, Rose, what we are doing is just discussing the ways that we can take a kind of a check-in call, right? Hey, Rose, just checking on you, make sure the kids are good and family's healthy and see how your summer was going, blah, blah, into, hey, don't forget I'm a real estate agent and I'd like some referrals, right? How to
Okay, awesome. Yeah.
bridge that, right? So we're going to do some role play, Michael and I. All right, which one do you want to be?
So I can be the realtor, and you can be Mr. Friend.
All right, hey, Michael, how's it going today?
Hey,
Nice to see your call.
thank you. I appreciate it. How are you? How are things these days? Are you getting ready for school?
Yeah, we're kind of, a little nervous about school. It's kind of crazy out there, and so we're actually a little scared, but we're gonna go through and send the kids to school, I think.
You are? Okay. Yeah, I mean, same with us. So I guess hang tight. So how about your job though? Is that still like the same as it has been? Are you traveling then very much, or you kind of, here homebound for the most part?
They've got me like driving a lot more to the places that I used to fly. Like I'm having to drive to, Birmingham and Charlotte and Tampa and these kind of places. They still expect me to travel, but they've allowed me not to have to fly.
Yeah. Oh, got it. Oh, very good. So yeah, I mean, before we knew it, the year will be over. What let me ask, because I've been going through a lot of things here at work myself with
You broke
agents and
up.
my brokers and all.
Back up just a
I
second.
mean,
Back up just a second.
sure. Okay. Oh, okay. So yeah, let me ask you this. Since you're talking about your job, is here on my end, we are been talking to folks, and we've been finding a lot of people are trying to take advantage of the rates. The rates are just crazy low right now for even refinancing in the mid
Oh,
two.
I didn't realize that. I bought a little over a year ago. I was like in the low fours or something. Are they even better than that?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's people that we know, like family and friends, they're just saving anywhere from $200 to $300 a month, just reaching out, getting themselves these estimates to go ahead and refinance. It's actually pretty amazing. I mean, I'll be happy to send you like a couple of people if you're interested to talk to if you want.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to save a few $100 a month. Do you think? Yeah, I mean, maybe send me like a three-way text or something, and send me your favorite one, and I'll be happy to reach out.
Oh yeah, there's a couple of people who we know. One we used even personally a couple of times by now. So I think you'll be happy for sure. Um,
What else you got going on, Michael? So
well,
what are you talking about at work? You a real estate agent or something?
we are rebuilding our business because I've been an executive recruiter forever, and we're just finding now's a great time to go ahead and take business to the next level, and it's the time is just right. And
Beautiful.
we're finding a lot of people we're taking stock of their real estate goals. People have known for many years about where they're thinking of going, where they want to land, especially since they want to downsize or kids are going to college now. What are your goals? I mean, what are you guys thinking for the rest of the year and beyond?
So, I'm kind of thinking. I think we're really happy with our home now. I don't anticipate moving at any point in the future. We maybe we'll. You think there's going to be some investment opportunities coming in the next year or two?
Oh man, yeah, we do. We do. I think that we see in the next 6 months we might see some situations where the inventory start to go ahead and increase. We might see some things start to become available
Okay.
even at a discount because people probably need to move quickly from their let's say property or rentals that they own. So yeah, I mean, where are you thinking?
I'm always looking for an opportunity. So, if you're probably prospecting like what, at least 4 hours a day, 40 contacts a day, you
Yep.
know, normal stuff, right? So in the course of you speaking to these people, if you come across an opportunity, Yeah, if it can make sense for you and it makes sense for me, bring it to me.
Yeah. Well, what I'll do is I got a nice app. I'll send it to you on text. You can just download and set up, queries and filters and, set up preferences to get yourself updates about things in the area. But that's just MLS app access. I can also keep an eye open for things too that are in our relationships that might be able to tell you about well before they hit the MLS.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize you could do that.
So yeah, there's people we know in our community and that we know that are looking to make moves and make changes. So I'll be happy to let you know about it if you'd like.
Yeah, that'd be good. Okay. Well, do you have any kind of like neighborhood nurture program through like your end-to-end platform that I could maybe share my mailing address with and you could input me on that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We actually got something in place. It's a monthly newsletter. Get yourself kind of just a snapshot of what's been sold, what's active. So I can get that to you. We can get your information there from you.
Perfect. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Good work. So do you feel, can I give you some feedback?
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't think that you're unusual from the others on the call, right? You probably haven't done a ton of role play recently, and there's a lot of, you're working your way through it, right? There's some there's some that kind of stuff. I think that's why role play and script practice is so important, right? It just gives you an opportunity to, you're saying the same thing over and over, you're asking the same questions. It just gives you a bit more confidence. Because if I was more rude on the phone, then you might have quit for the day. Right?
Well, yeah, I think it's human nature when you face those, feelings on the phone. Sure. Yeah.
But it's human nature if your frame is, I'm doing this for me. If you're doing it for other people because you know that you've got a message that you want to share with the world, then if you happen to get just a grump, then you can just let it be, right? I talk to plenty of grumps all day long, and these are people that have, I hope this doesn't offend anybody, but I'm talking to people that have been in the real estate business for 10, 15, 20 years that still sell 3 or 4 houses a year. Like, I'm just going to go out on a limb and say you're not performing to your capacity. Right? Yet they want to. Yet they don't want to take any steps to do it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sometimes we just have to remind people that we're here to help, and that it's not always about cash and checks. It's about really coming from a place of contribution.
Yeah.
I thought it sounded really natural.
Yeah, I did too.
Comfortable.
I agree. All right, who's next? Rose, you want to do one?
I actually don't have a in front of me.
Okay, well, why don't we, if you want, I can pull one up. Basically, have you guys printed out the agent pivot scripts? Have you gone through those?
I don't have a printer, but if it was on a PDF, then I will.
So let's see. When you Rose, you've done a lot of script practice before, right? What's some of your favorite stuff to do?
I actually, oops, I just knocked something over. I actually have the KW University scripts.
Okay, yeah.
That I like a lot, but let me see if I can find them.
I'm gonna try to share my screen with you here.
Yes, yeah,
and then
go ahead.
You can read the screen, and then you can be the agent calling me. I think I'm trying to overwhelm these 3 computer screens here.
Oh yeah. I think your picture's frozen. Oh wait, now it says that you're. It's a black screen right now.
All right, hang on. Goodness, I'm sorry. Hang on. I think it's coming. All right, while we wait for that, it says I'm not responding. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Mhm.
No? Oh my goodness, what is going on with this thing? All right, so let's just and you have a rough idea of some of the things that you could be asking about, right, Rose? I mean, do you have a if you're going to call your sphere of influence or check in or something? Oh, here we go. Okay, do you see it now?
Yes, yes, I do. Okay.
So this is a
Check-in
general check-in call. All right. Why don't you run this script? Can you run it and talk to me at the same time?
I'm just skimming over it right now so I know what to expect. And when. Okay, so I just run through the whole A, B, C, D, E thing, or
Make it conversational, but yeah, so you ask question A, you give me a chance to respond. Maybe I'll throw in a question. When there's a moment of silence, you might ask the second question, that kind of thing.
Okay. Hey, Bill, this is Rose with Keller Williams. Do you have a couple minutes?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, sorry.
What's new in your world?
What's new in my world? Oh my gosh, hang on a second. Let me do that again because I realized I was supposed to go through that. Hey, Bill, this is Rose with Keller Williams. Do you have a couple minutes? The reason for my call.
Yeah, I got it. I got like 2 or 3 minutes before my next call starts. Yeah. What can I help you with?
Okay, yeah. Well, I'm making calls to my clients and everyone I know to see if there's anything I can do for you or your family. How are you doing?
Good. Hey, that's really nice of you to do that. You know, it sounds like you're really coming from contribution. I appreciate that. My family's doing good. Everyone is healthy, thank goodness. And how about you?
Yeah, everybody's doing well over here. It's been a scary few months with everything going on, so I just definitely want to make sure everybody's doing okay. I mean, how's the company you work for doing?
It's good. They've had a couple layoffs, but thank goodness my job appears to be safe right now.
Awesome. Were you able to stay home?
What are you up to these days, Rose? What's your work now? What's keeping you busy?
You know what? I don't really like this script.
Well, answer my question.
What was the question again? How is my company? What am I doing?
No, just ask me how my work was. So it's not a we're just having a conversation now. The script is simply giving you some ideas. Okay. So you asked me how my work was. So the vast majority of people that are, have some social graces would then respond by saying, what are you up to what keeps you busy, Rose?
Well, always real estate.
Oh, real estate. I didn't realize you got into real estate. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, actually, it's a crazy hot market. Homes are coming in and off the market crazy fast, and there are so many buyers because the interest rates are so low.
Oh, I didn't realize the interest rates are low. Are they what, like 4.5 or something?
Lower than that. And even lower for some people that refinance. I've seen it as low as like 2.75.
2.75. Oh my goodness. Well, the other real estate agent that I know hasn't called me. I'm really glad you called me to remind me that. So do you have like a lender that you work with frequently that you want to maybe introduce me to?
Yeah, actually her name's Kathy Vitale and she works right in the office with me. I can text you her cell phone number, or email it to you, or I can have her reach out.
I always find that it's better, break script, to do a three-way connection. Because if you send your friend Kathy's information, it could get totally lost in the shuffle. If it's a three-way connection and Kathy's in on it, then Kathy then can reach out and say, hey, here to answer any questions. Hey, rates 2.85 today. Just letting you know things are still low. Let me know if you have any questions, right? You can have an additional kind of influence into that courtship, right? And then they connect every bit of value they get from Kathy back to you.
Okay, so let me redo that part. Yeah, her name's Kathy Vitale. She actually works in the office with me. I can actually put us on a three-way group chat and introduce you guys.
Yeah, is that free? You do that for me for free?
Well, yeah, of course.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, tell me more about this real estate thing, Rose. What do you think's going on in the market these days? How's the market being impacted by COVID?
What? I'm sorry.
How is the market being impacted by COVID?
Oh, yes. Well, there's not a whole lot of sellers out there, especially depending on which price point. But there are so many buyers, so it's a great time to sell right now. Homes are coming off the market in like 5 days, from what I'm seeing just with my own clients. And they got a great rate.
Interesting. Okay. Well, you know, like I said, I'm kind of in a rush today, but I appreciate you checking in, Rose. Just let me know if I can help in any way, okay?
Of course. Thank you so much. And if you know of anybody that I could help, please reach out to me.
Okay. Do you work with buyers or just sellers?
Both.
Both. Okay. That's a good. I would, rather than answering both, I would say buyers and sellers. Make sure they hear
Buyers
it.
and sellers. Okay.
Make sure they hear it. Because you don't want them to think of both when they think of you. You want them to think of buyers and sellers when they think of you.
Okay.
From
Yeah.
a psychological standpoint. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I work with buyers and sellers.
Yeah. Or, you know, I help buyers and sellers. Exactly. Okay. How'd you feel about that?
I kind of like it better when it's something's written down in front of me, but if I was talking to like a friend or something, I thought it would have just been a good conversation.
Okay. So, okay, cool. So let's understood. So how,
I usually have the most trouble closing out the conversation.
Okay.
And
sometimes you could even say, hey, I just have a quick question for you, right?
Yeah.
Do you have 2 minutes? I got just a real quick question for you, right? If you feel like you've earned the right to just cut to the chase and ask for the opportunity, right? Hey, I'm just doing a quick, a handful of real quick calls to my sphere today. You know, some of my friends and family, just checking in to make sure everything is going okay. How are you guys? Go ahead. Be my caller. How are you guys?
We're good actually. We're just working from home, and I mean it's pretty much life as usual. Didn't know that our next life was quarantine.
So remind me, what do you guys do for a living again? Remind me.
I'm sorry, wait a second. Off the script. Who am I?
You are a random person that I'm calling.
And you're the realtor?
That's right.
Okay. What do we do? Well, actually, should I just make something up rather than real estate? Yep. I am working with Aisling Dynamics. It's a family-run tech company, and I'm just an assistant to my mother who owns and runs this business.
Okay, so you're able to work from home pretty nicely, huh?
Oh yeah, that's the glory of a tech company.
Okay. So tell me a little bit about your summer. Did you guys go anywhere special, or the kids go to camp, or?
Yeah, we went to Indian Rocks Beach,
Oh, I love
and
that place. In
yeah,
Tampa, right?
it was great. We stayed at a house, so we had our own pool and everything, so we didn't have to be around other people. We could still do the whole social distance stuff.
Oh, okay. Okay. So it sounds like everyone's staying safe and healthy, huh?
Yeah, yeah. How about you? How was your summer?
It's going great. I actually stuck around a good bit this summer, not too much travel. My wife's business is still pretty busy, and I've been really working some long hours. Got some lots of buyers and sellers that my team is working to help, and as you probably know, it's pretty low inventory, low real estate or interest rates.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of activity. I'm out there helping a lot of buyers and sellers. Um, One of the things that I'm chatting with a lot of my sphere of influence or some of my friends with is just, do you have any real estate goals that you're thinking about over the course of the next maybe 6 months or a year that I should know about that I might be able to help you out with right now?
Hmm. Well, I know a family member that is looking to buy a house, actually. Um,
Oh,
she's Yeah, she's rented for years and years, was always very opposed to owning, and is now finally starting to look into it.
well, wow. Thank you for thinking about that. What I'm finding is I'm talking to a lot of potential purchasers that are renting is they can afford a newer or more updated or larger home if they purchase based on the prevailing interest rates than what they could face if they were renting. And as we all know, the rental rates are, gradually being pressured up as well. You haven't heard of anyone getting a rate reduction in rentals lately, have you?
Oh no.
Yeah, so I think that's
No.
just going to continue. One of the ways that I love that introduction is like by a three-way text. Would you be willing to introduce the two of us by a three-way text?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, okay. And listen, I'm on the phone all day long with potential buyers and potential sellers and people in the market in the community at large. Like, if I was speaking to like an ideal client for your business, your mother's business, what should I be looking for? How can I help you guys?
Did you ask that last question again?
Yeah, if I was speaking, I'm on the phone all day long speaking with people, business people and people that live in the Roswell area that may need the services that you and your mother provide. Like, what does an ideal client look like for you guys, and how would I know if I happen to be speaking with one of them?
An ideal client. I don't understand the question.
So an ideal
An
client would
ideal.
be like, let's say, like who's a good client for your mother's business?
Oh, for my mom's business,
Yeah.
big companies that need help with their accounting software or need to purchase any Microsoft products, then they go to my mom.
Oh, okay. So anybody that needs some Microsoft products. So if I happen to be speaking with somebody who is maybe starting a business or something like that, you might be a good resource for me. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah, she can
Or you
sell
might be
them.
able to you might be a good resource for that person. Is that right?
Yeah.
Are you open to taking new clients right now?
For her company, yeah,
Yeah.
always.
Okay, great. So yeah, maybe that's how I can help you out. I appreciate you sharing that. Now I know how I can be of assistance to you guys.
Yeah, yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Uh,
So again, you break script. So you see what I was doing there? I'm
yeah,
trying to dig around to see how I can help.
okay. Yeah,
Right.
I didn't understand that the ideal client because for some reason I was thinking real estate and I was confused as to why you were asking me for the ideal client for real estate. I totally forgot about.
The role play? Okay.
Yeah, my
So
role in role play.
so let me ask you this, guys. Um, Kim, I think are you still there, Kim?
Yes.
Do you still do some role play each day?
Yes. Donna's been on vacation and we didn't do it today because I was busy. But yes, we generally try to do it every day except Friday.
Okay, walk me through what you guys like. What's your routine?
Well, usually we start at 7 and we go for an hour, and we've been working on renter. Well, she does a lot of buyers right now. So we work on a script for a renter to a buyer. That's what we've been working on lately. And before that, we were working on open house scripts because she tends to hold a lot of open houses. So that's kind of was our main focus.
Okay, what about you? Because you just told me you do 2 different things for her. What about what do you do for you? What do you like doing?
Well, truthfully, I like practicing my listing presentation, and she doesn't have one of those yet. She's just starting to work on getting listings. So I've kind of been practicing my listing presentation with my family. So I do
Okay.
that once in a while.
Would you be prepared to run through a little bit of it with me right now?
Yeah, give me 1 second. Yep.
Okay. I'm also taking some of my previous notes from listing presentation, taking some stuff from Dave Jinks's class, taking some stuff from Bold, taking some stuff from the old Bold, and trying to put it together so I can be help you guys a little bit with your listing presentation. Because the reason why you don't have a ton of listings is because you're afraid of what to say.
Right.
So Donna's probably apprehensive to go get listings because she didn't have a listing presentation. She needs a listing presentation.
Yes. And so this is the deal, Bill. I'm on my laptop and I don't have the files on here. When I do that, I'm on my big PC. So it's going to be hard to share my screen and show you my presentation because it's not on here.
Yeah, we'll fake that part.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right. I'm a seller. What do I do?
Okay. So I would just kind of, if you're in my sphere of influence or someone I don't know.
I personally don't think there should be a whole lot of difference.
Right. Well, kind of when the call may be a little different initially because.
Oh, I was referring to actually doing the listing presentation with me now.
Okay, right.
You've already gotten the calls out of the way. You've already booked the appointment. It's time for the appointment.
Okay, so I would just ring.
Hey, Kim, nice mask. How you doing?
Hey, Bill, how are you? So I'm reaching out because it's 8 o'clock like we planned on, and I wanted to get started on talking about that beautiful home of yours that we're going to sell together.
Okay, great.
So tell me, how are things going? Is the house all ready and everything, or do we need to get together to talk about how to get your house ready? Where are you at in that?
So just set the scene. Are we at the front door or are we at the kitchen table? Where are we at right now?
I thought we were on a Zoom call.
Okay, we can be on the Zoom call. Okay, cool. Yeah, there's like a little painting left to do. I probably need you to send me the name of a painter, but outside of that, we're pretty much ready.
Okay, so remind me again, Bill, what's your motivation behind wanting to sell your house? Why are we really, why are you moving?
My wife wants to move. I don't really want to move, but my wife wants to move. She says our house is too small.
Okay, so where does your wife want to go, Bill? Because that seems to be important to you.
Very good one. That was very well done. My wife wants to move to Midtown.
Okay, do you like Midtown?
Yeah, it's all right. I like having a wife, so I guess I like Midtown.
Have you guys been looking at all in Midtown?
A little bit, yeah. We're looking on, Redfin and Trulia and Zillow and Realtor.com and some Berkshire Hathaway app or something like that.
Oh, okay, Bill. So we're going to get to that before after we finish talking about how we're going to sell your house together, because you shouldn't waste your time on all those things. We should just work together, get that done quickly for you, and make this a smooth transition so we can move you from one residence and get you right into the house that you're in love with in Midtown, or your wife is in love with in Midtown. How's that sound?
That sounds good. It kind of sounds like you've done this before, Kim.
Oh, maybe not. No, just like that's great, Bill. Okay, Bill. So let's get started. Let's talk about, you talked about where you're going to move after we sell your house. What other things are important to you about the sale of your house? What is the one thing that you can think of that's most important about this in the sale of your house? What's the one thing that I can do for you that's most important?
I just want somebody who's going to protect me. I want to make sure that I don't sell it for less than I should.
Okay. Have you been doing any research on that, Bill?
I have a rough idea of what I think my home is worth. I mean, a lot of the homes around here are fairly similarly priced. Like, I'm thinking probably somewhere in like the 425 to 450 neighborhood, something like that.
Okay, Bill. So what if I told you the last home in your neighborhood sold for 400? That's almost exactly like yours. How would you feel about that?
Oh, were you talking about that one like 3 doors down?
Yes.
Yeah, that was like a nasty divorce. They probably sold that for less than they should have. That's not going to impact me too much, right?
Well, it could, but I have to go look at the house and see. I'm not sure, but if you say it's a nasty divorce, you know more about your neighbors than I do. Have you ever been inside the house?
Yeah, they didn't have a lot of money. They kind of, I think they didn't do a lot of maintenance. Wasn't in that great of shape.
Okay. Okay. Well, no promises, but it's something I'll have to take a look at because the buyer that's going to look at your house is probably going to look at that house and say, well, why was that house 400 if it's the same exact square footage as Bill's house? So we'll have to take that into consideration. But I'm glad that you've been doing your research. So Bill, I've been doing my research too on your property, and I found 4 comparables in the neighborhood, and one of them is your neighbor down the street that sold for 400.
Okay.
But we don't have to go by that number. There were several others that sold for 416, 417, 450, like you're desiring. So what we need to do is I actually need to come out and take a look at your property.
Okay.
Hear my fire alarm. Sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, sorry. Can you hear me? All right.
It's all right. We'll
Okay.
ignore it.
So I'll have to come out and take a look at your property, and then we can sit down together and look at the figures and talk about what's the best price for your home, because we don't want to overprice your house and we don't want to underprice your house. My job is to get you the best price for your home in the fastest time. So let's set an appointment for me to come out and look at your home and set up some photography to be taken. And in the meantime, I'm going to send you a DocuSign document with our exclusive listing agreement.
Okay.
Bill, the only other thing we haven't really discussed before I come out is commissions. And there is going to be a 6% seller's commission, 6% commission, and 3% of that will go to Keller Williams and myself, and the other 3% goes to the buyer's agent. Have you ever dealt with commissions in real estate before? Are you going to have an issue with that, or?
No. Let's break script for 1 second.
Okay.
I'm not positive I would even bring that up.
Okay.
If I didn't bring it up, I don't know that I would introduce it.
Okay. So
Right.
you would just go right to the exclusive listing agreement. You're going to send, okay, yeah, Michael's going, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's like we didn't set the stage that well. It's still a little confusing because like theoretically we could go through a little bit more of the presentation here,
Mhm.
and then the site visit, so to speak, could just be for, let me I'll swing by the home, make sure there's no, last minute little improvements that could be made, maybe send the stager by, make sure the painter knows what to paint, like these kind of things, just the little stuff before we finalize everything. And then you want to make sure that you're letting me know what's happening next.
Okay.
Right. So next, if that's going to take a week, then, we'll get together one more time, see if there's any new sales that we need to be made aware of.
Mhm.
And then we can decide together what the sales price, what the most appropriate sales price would be. That was really good. Okay. I can tell you've practiced that. Okay. There was you did a great job of bringing my name up a few times. Right? That kind of keeps the focus, right? If my mind kind of begins to wander a little bit, you're like, you say my name and I'm like, yes, did I miss something? Right? I thought that was really good. I also, you alluded to being a team a number of times, right? We're going to get this house sold together. We're going to decide together. We're going to do this together. These kind of phrases. I thought that was really well. Could you all see that Kim has practiced?
Oh, good. Thank you.
Yes, I can tell it was it was good.
Okay. Do you think that Kim naturally has that talent? I'm not saying, let me ask, wait, stop. Don't answer that.
Don't. I can tell you.
Okay. Do you think that she always sounded that way?
I mean, I don't know, maybe. She seemed really comfortable, so I
No, I
thought
agree.
maybe just
But it's polished, right?
yeah.
I kind of felt it was a forward moving conversation. It was we were being guided through, into a direction here that she was.
Yeah.
So in your listing presentation, do you do any type of like review of the pre-qualification questions, or like would this be a good format to show me some of the comparables? Walk me through some of that.
Okay, so that's sort of where it gets wonky for me, right? Because this is going to be my first listing presentation tonight.
Okay.
And I told you they are friends, and we've had several conversations already.
Okay.
So when the pre-qualification questions that we have in our drive,
Yeah.
some of those have already been asked and answered, right? So I'm not going to go through that all again with these people, but most likely if I was having my first conversation with someone, whether it be in my sphere or not, I probably would work more from that pre-qualification list a little bit, ask the same kind of questions to get them comfortable, but also ask more pre-qualification questions about why they're selling their house, more about their motivations. Maybe.
So give me an example of a question that you would not ask because you've already asked it.
With the current people that I'm dealing with, maybe like, oh, why did you move to Sandy Springs, and why do you live in that location? Why did you choose that house or that home?
Why do you think that's not important?
No, it is important, but I've already asked it. Like, I already know. So for tonight, I won't bring that up again because I know why she chose that home.
Okay. So a good rule of thumb is it's okay to repeat yourself, right? Okay. Now I can see why you wouldn't ask that specific question because we're trying to distance themselves from the ownership, right? We don't necessarily need to remind them why they liked it. We want to focus on where they're headed, right? But you do want to review so we're going to Chicago, right? And the primary reason we're going to Chicago is this. Did I remember that correctly? I know the last time we spoke was a couple weeks ago. Has anything changed? Right, that kind of stuff.
And so for them, it's a little bit different because they've already bought a home, right? He sold his home and they bought a home together. This is her house that she had as a single person. Yeah. So I kind of know a lot already up front. A lot of those type of answers.
So you can ask her questions like, wow, so now we still have 2 properties as this new married couple. How do you feeling? Like, are you nervous about this experience? Are you excited? Are you scared from a financial standpoint, from a logistical standpoint? Like, walk me through a little bit of your feelings and emotions right now, just so I know how to best help you.
Oh, that's good.
Right. Because they may say something like, I'm scared to death of making 2 mortgage payments. Great. Then you need to be here in terms of the price.
Okay.
Right. So you identify what are they most concerned about, right? So now we have a new home and we still have this property. So given that, what are your primary concerns to be a seller in today's market?
Okay. Yep.
Something like that, right?
That's good.
What are you excited about? What are you concerned about? Do you have any questions? Right. Make sure you ask those questions like, I really like I have a great deal of respect for the investment of your time. And I want to thank you for the opportunity to come into your home and, to share with you how I do business. And I'm just honored for the opportunity. I know there's a lot of other agents that you could select to work with, and I'm just excited for the chance to be your partner here, right? So again, you're making that relation, you're deepening that bond, right? You're using a lot of we language and a lot of you language rather than a lot of it's going to be my listing kind of stuff.
Right.
Right. So based on the fact, you know, as we continue to develop our relationship together, I just have a couple really quick questions. Like, I want to make sure that I'm delivering A+ customer service to you. Help me understand what is the primary task that you expect an agent to do for you? What are you most concerned about the performance of the agent? How do we win with you?
Oh, that's a good, how do we win with you?
Right. And then once they answer that, you might say, well, have you ever had a poor experience with a sales provider or a customer service provider or a real estate agent? Anything that you'd like to share that might give me a better feel for how to lose with you? Because I clearly don't want to lose with you.
That's definitely, I need to fit that in somehow because they've had those 2 recent experiences. So if something went awry, which I know a little bit about something that did go awry in the transition, but I want them to be able to vocalize it. So I need to probably figure out, and when I'm talking to them, where that's a good time to come in with that. Like before I ask them for their motivation or after. Like, you know, how I asked them, how was your last experience? How did you say it?
How did I say it? I would probably ask after, although I don't think it matters that much, to be honest.
Okay.
Right. It's part of the courtship. The order is not particularly important. But I would say, you know, I know you had is it right that you had 2 different agents in your last 2 transactions, right? Tell me a little bit about what you really liked working with those agents about.
Okay.
You know, tell me a little bit about some of the activities that you wish they had done that they hadn't done. Because the fact of the matter is you're sitting in front of them and they aren't.
Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So say, hey, one of my chief goals as I'm building my real estate business is to, when I help somebody buy a home or sell a home, I want to be their agent for life. I want to wow them in every corner, in every turn. So how can I wow you so that I get to be your agent forever? What that's saying to them is, you've already found 2 agents that aren't your agent forever.
Mm-hmm.
So where did they screw up?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
So don't be afraid to go back through that list of pre-qualification questions, right?
Okay.
So have you ever thought of selling your home yourself?
I am so afraid.
No, Kim, we're not going to sell the home ourselves. Okay, great. Right. So what the purpose of that question is, they're going to then state how important a realtor involved in the process is. Because if then they begin to question your cost, you say, well, you already said you're willing to hire a professional, right?
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, every professional there's going to be a cost to that.
Okay.
Right. I wouldn't bring up commission unless it's brought up. If you speak the way you spoke to me 10 minutes ago, it ain't going to come up.
Okay.
Right. Because you're confident and you're guiding the conversation along and you're moving them from one spot to the next.
Got it.
Okay. What part of what do you want practice on for the next minute or 2 before we end today that we didn't get to? Can you think of anything?
I usually have trouble setting the appointment.
Okay.
That's my biggest obstacle.
Okay, so I believe there's a really good script where it'll take you in the direction of booking the appointment. Ready?
Okay.
Wow, sounds like we should meet.
Okay, yeah.
Right? Interesting. Sounds like we should meet.
Okay.
You don't know much about the buyer process? Wow, I can teach you all about that. Sounds like we should meet. Right? Well, I don't know much about selling a home. Wonderful. Sounds like we should meet. When's better, 2 o'clock or 4 o'clock? What technology are you most comfortable with? Right? Some people might not know how to use Zoom, right? Some people might prefer to use Skype or Facebook Live, or not Facebook Live, what do you call it? FaceTime, or WhatsApp or something like that. Is there a particular piece of technology that you feel most comfortable with? Right? They're probably not being asked that too much.
Yeah.
Great. Sounds like we should meet. Would you prefer to meet over Zoom, or is there a different type of technology you feel most comfortable with? Right? Sounds like we should meet.
Yeah, usually when it comes to appointment
Well,
setting.
Interesting. Not everyone hates realtors. Sounds like we should meet.
Yeah, usually when it comes to the appointment setting, I start to
Freeze.
huh?
Do you start to freeze?
Yeah, I start to freeze because I'm like, oh crap, now
Well,
I have to make the appointment.
Well,
Yeah.
now you have to prepare.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's 2 different things that I can think of that will make you a whole lot more confident when you're booking that appointment. Do you happen to know what those are?
No, what are they?
Create and practice your buyer presentation, and create and practice your listing presentation. Okay.
Okay.
So that's going to involve some studying of some scripts. That's going to involve, walking around your office in the morning. Hey, so I have 3 critical questions for you. Do you really want to sell your house? Are you willing to price your home to sell, or do you want it to sit on the market week after week after week after week after week? And do you want me to sell it for you? Okay, so Mr. and Mrs. Smith, I had the opportunity to speak with Mr. Smith, and I asked a few questions so that I could better understand your situation and prepare for this evening. May I review those questions now to make certain that I thoroughly understand your circumstances to sell your home? Okay, you pull out the pre-approval questions. All right, boom, 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 boom. Back to this. So your husband said that you guys are moving to Greenville, is that correct? Yeah, that's correct. Awesome. So when did you need to be there by? July, is that correct? Oh yeah, July, maybe even sooner, right? So you're just going through that. You're an actor, okay? This is your script. This is your script, okay?
Okay.
And I remember many years ago when Tim Hardiman was like the very first guy in the office, right? And I was just the second guy in the office. And I'd go back to the big training room, and he'd be walking around the training room like this, chanting, "We're going to review your motivation to sell this home now and agree on a price that will cause it to sell." And that's what he would do.
Oh my gosh.
Okay?
Yeah.
Because he didn't know what to do. And so he had to read the script, right?
Yeah.
This is what we say. And there's a lot of different ways to say it. I'm going to give another plug for Dave Jenks's video. I sent that out on Sunday again, yesterday. That is basically word for word, right? How to, Kim, I would watch that real fast before you go tonight. Okay. Watch it again and look that person right in the face and say, hey, you guys deserve to sell this home for this price. And there is not going to be a single thing that is more important to me than making sure that happens for you. That is my #1 commitment. And when I commit to things, they get done. Right? And then all of a sudden this like burden of like, oh, I wonder if this is going to happen, or this is going to happen, or this is going to happen. It's like, thank God I found Kim. She's going to take good care of us. See what I'm saying? So first is you got to go watch some videos on buyer presentations and continue to come to classes like this. So I appreciate that. And same thing with listing presentations. Okay. There is lots and lots and lots of resources on KW Connect for that. And I'm putting some material together too to kind of lay out for you. But these are the questions. Hey, we're going to review your motivation to sell this house now, and we're going to agree on a price that will cause it to sell. Secondly, we're going to take a moment to answer or ask any questions that you might have right now. And number 3, we're going to decide tonight, right? Decide tonight, not tomorrow. We're not going to think about it. We're going to decide tonight, right? Whether you want to work with me and if I'm going to take your listing. Oh, what do you mean you wouldn't take my listing? Well, so I appreciate you asking. That doesn't always happen, but sometimes a seller will want me to pay for marketing that I know will not help them sell their home. Or you might want to set a price that I know is not going to help you sell the home and be in Jacksonville by next month. Does that sound fair? Okay, beautiful. So let's continue to review the pre-qualification questions, right? So ultimately, gosh, you're in Greenville by August and you started the new job and the kids are playing with their friends in the cul-de-sac. You know, ultimately, what will all that do for you? Right? You're future pacing. You're really getting them visualizing the feeling that it's going to that they're going to have with their goal accomplished. Okay. Meanwhile, psychologically, you're pairing that feeling with your presence. Follow that? Guys, don't wing it. Words are super important. Okay, great. So my goal, Kim, is to make that happen for you. And if you're as committed as I am, then you're going to be in Jacksonville by August. Okay. So I appreciate you being serious about getting your home sold. And as we continue to talk about getting your home sold, you'll see why so many people choose me to help them get their home sold. Now, you do want the most money, don't you? Okay. So it's just boom, 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 boom. Okay. So I cannot stress to you enough how important, even if it's 5 or 10 minutes a day, either reviewing the scripts by yourself or with an accountability partner, the way Kim speaks today versus the way Kim spoke 3 or 4 months ago, no offense, totally different. Right? You just have more confidence now, and it's obvious, right? You were talented and skilled and professional back then, but you're polished today. Okay.
And I will say something real quick is that I've never had a listing presentation before, but I've had many, or maybe not many, but I've had a few buyer consultations now. And with each one, I get more confident and more comfortable.
Yes.
To where it just seems natural, where if I met somebody on the sidewalk and they were just like, hey, let's do a buyer consultation right now, then I would be able to just sit down with them right there without anything in front of me. So
that's great. So a good example, Rose, would be I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, the more you practice, it gets a lot easier. And then like the first one, you're super nervous, but then by like the fourth one, you're comfortable.
100%. So what I would suggest is, Rose, let's find somebody that you can practice a buyer presentation with or a listing presentation with every day.
Yeah.
I mean, great. It'd be great if it was a real buyer or seller, but maybe Heather would be open to doing that, right? Is there anyone else in the PC group that would be willing to, get serious about this part of their business? I mean, guys, that is what we do. Every activity that we do is designed to get somebody in front of us that will listen to us present to them.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, I definitely need help with the listing part because I've only I have a listing presentation and I've practiced on my own, but never for somebody.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you to post publicly in the group today and say,
Okay.
hey, I would like to practice my listing presentation for 15 minutes every morning at 8 o'clock. Who would like to do that with me? Okay, and you pour into that person, they pour into you, and you both get stronger. Okay?
Awesome, yes.
All right, beautiful. I will see you guys in the morning. Great work. Kim, you deserve that listing.
Yeah.
You deserve that listing. You're going to go get it.
Yes, thank you. I am.
All right. See you soon.
All right, bye-bye.